Welcome back, everybody. I am Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we're on each and every week. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We try to bring some great information to you about what's happening here in Las Vegas and the surrounding communities. Certainly, there is great opportunity here right now, although we seem to be at the end of what we would call the 8 to 10 year run. And so what we want to do is try to minimize risk, and we try to keep people in deals. I know there's a propensity by sellers to want to get the highest possible dollar out of every deal and hold tight, especially in a seller's market, which we are in right now, where you've got, probably 6 weeks worth of inventory on the market currently, where usually we try to get at least 3 months, 90 days. And in some markets, and I would consider Southern California a different market, it's 5 months. That's where you have equal number of buyers to equal number of sellers. But right here, right now, we only have about 6 weeks. So this is what we call a seller's market. But what happens? Now, you're a seller or you're a buyer, and you're in escrow. You've made a contract offer. Everything's been accepted. However, something happens. The inspection turns up something wrong with the foundation or the roof. The financing seems to be faltering. What do? You're a seller. You're sitting there thinking, hey, I have an asset that's going to sell like that, so why do I need this buyer? The key here, and I was told a long time ago by a great real estate agent where I really was mentored and learned the profession. It's better to stay in the deal you're in than to try to go out and get another deal. Now, granted, there are plenty of buyers out there who will buy and grind, and we all know what that means. That means they'll tie the property up, they'll get into escrow, and at every turn they're trying to grind the price. I have a ton of buyers that are like that. I have a lot of investors who are like that, who believe that once they're in escrow, they can just grind away at the seller and the seller will eventually fold. However, I'm not here to say that. What I think we can do is find a happy medium between buyer and seller needs. Whether it's an inspection item that needs some kind of credit, whether it is in the financing that the seller has to understand that maybe an extension in the escrow period is maybe needed in order to have the buyer get the time they need to get the additional financing. I was in a deal recently whereby I had a buyer, and that buyer was in 14 contracts and 2 escrows and decided at the end of the day not to buy at all. Now, how we handle stressful situations where we need to get, obviously, a buyer and a seller to agree is always the most important thing for any agent out there. And if you have an agent, the good thing about having a professional agent is that they know that the best deal is the deal where everyone walks away angry. Why do I say that? Because that means that everybody's given a little bit. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with SuperGrow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your SuperGrow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification in an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Thanks very much. I'm Jeff Barton, your host in the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we're right now going to go to Rebecca Fitzgerald, who's going to give us an update on conditions here in the Valley in the market. Rebecca?
Thanks, Jeff. The market here is really heating up along with the weather. It's getting pretty hot, which I'm not looking forward to the summer months. But as far as the real estate market goes, it's going to look like very on the up and up, and it looks like the houses are going to be moving. The crazy thing is there's no there's no supply out here. There's less than normal market conditions is a 6-month supply, and there's less than a 2.5-month supply here. Well, the interesting thing about it is we overbuilt in 2006, 2007, and then the market crashed. And so now the fact is not only do we not have a supply, we're rebuilding again. So people are moving here in like masses, which I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, a lot of the conditions in California are outpricing people, and plus people are retiring, they're downsizing, different things like that. Last month we sold between 3,500 and 4,000 houses, and there's another active 6,500, which is really low for, especially since last year it's less than 24% less than the market was last year, which means that people are moving here, people are buying again, the market's recovering, and it's, you know, it's a great thing to say, you know, it's a great condition to be in. And right now our average price per square foot is 142, which this same time last year was around 100. So that not only is the market, houses are moving, the prices are going up, and the market is healthier and healthier, and it looks like it's going to be a really positive summer. But that's all I have for today. Back to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Rebecca. That was terrific. Really appreciate the update. And I'm Jeff Barton, your host in the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising. And according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Thanks for tuning in. We're on each and every week, and we appreciate you and what you do in calling in and writing us, emailing us. There's all kinds of ways to get in touch with us, and what we try to do is incorporate what you're talking about with us on the show. We bring investors, we bring all kinds of third-party people, whether it be title or escrow or other things that you're going to need to know in the real estate process. We also bring financing people, entrepreneurs, all things that are affecting your decisions on whether you want to buy or sell real estate here in the Valley. And there are many, many ways to skin that cat. And one of the people that I've been nice enough to have on the show is Ian Palast, who is joining us today, and he's from eXp Realty.
eXp Realty. Hey, thank you so much for inviting me on the show today. Pleasure to finally meet you.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
By the way, congratulations. If I understand correctly, your kid just graduated from college up in Oregon at Lewis and Clark. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's excellent. You've been to Portland?
No, I haven't. I've been close to Portland, but haven't quite made it up there. That's one of my next trips. I like to.
It's a great city.
Yeah, I like to do a lot of traveling, and it's one of the areas of the country I haven't really seen yet. So looking forward to it.
It's great. You know, the Pacific Northwest. Oregon itself is very hot in the real estate market, a lot like it is here in
I've definitely heard that.
Nevada. So tell us a little bit about you, your background, how you got into Vegas, you know, in the real estate industry.
Thanks for asking. I've been a realtor for about 12 years here in Las Vegas. I was with Keller Williams Realty for those 12 years and just recently switched over to eXp. Love what I do. I'm originally from Chicago. Go Cubs. And gotta throw it out there for the Cubs.
No, I'm a Red Sox fan, but there you go.
Oh, we're done then.
Hey, same guy as the GM.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But originally from Chicago, like I said, I went to school at University of Iowa many moons ago, and was fortunate enough to be a spoiled rotten brat in college. And my grandfather, may he rest in peace, was paying for my education. After a couple of years of having, you know, my tuition paid for, room paid for, board, and everything else, I called my grandpa up one day. I said, you know, Grandpa, I've been thinking. He says, oh yeah, what have you been thinking about? This ought to be good. I says, well, why don't we take a big chunk of money from that savings account that you have for my education, and instead of spending all this money on rent each month, why don't we put a big down payment on a house close to campus? I'll get a couple of my frat boy buddies to be my roommates. We don't have to worry about their parents paying the rent because they got that covered. In fact, we can even charge them a little more than what the mortgage will be, so we'll have a little bit of profit on the monthly inflow versus outflow. Right. This is, we're going to split the utilities 3 ways, the food 3 ways, and the beer 3 ways. And my grandfather, he talks as much as I do, but all I heard on the other end of the line was 7, 8, 9 seconds. Grandpa, are you there, Grandpa? Well, I guess you're not so freaking stupid after all. Why don't you pick out a couple of houses and I'll be up next week?
Excellent.
1988, I bought my first house with, of course, Grandpa's help, but in my name.
Yeah.
Never had a property manager. Wound up staying for 5 years instead of 4 because, hey, I had the party house.
Yeah.
And managed to keep that house for another 10 or 11 years, even after graduation. Went through pretty much everything with it. Never had a property manager. Never had a vacancy. The place was always rented.
Right?
And went through all kinds of things like hailstorm damage, fighting with an insurance company, to having to fix the boiler, the radiator heat, and all. And we don't have radiators here in Vegas, but
No, no basements either.
no basements either. So a lot of that kind of stuff that I learned through trial and error over the years, and really did a great job of that. My last big investment project was in Culver City, California. In 2001, I purchased a fourplex property right off Sepulveda, Venice area, if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
And lived in it for about 4 years, managed to refi it a couple times, lived like a rock star in LA for a little while and had some fun there.
Still have the property?
No, actually I sold it in 2005 for 1.25 mil, promptly brought my money here to Las Vegas and lost a bunch of it in the Great Recession.
Yeah, I know, and that hurt a lot of people. When you're dealing with buyers or sellers out here, what do you find that your experience in property management and buying, selling yourself, how do you bring that to this buying and selling
I'm glad that
property?
you asked. One of the things that I tell folks is I'm not your regular realtor. I'm not going to walk through the house with you and point out all the bells and whistles kind of thing. Most people know what they're looking for to begin with, and for me to stand there and go, and they have stainless steel appliances when it's keenly obvious. When I'm in there, while I'm not an expert, I'm not a handyman or a contractor, I am looking for things that I've experienced in the past. Mm-hmm. Again, 12 years as a realtor here in Vegas, one of the top 10 or 11 realtors for the last 2 or 3 years running with my former brokerage. I'm looking for cracks, I'm looking for things underneath the sink. I'm opening and checking everything that might be a problem that'll come up on an inspection or something that affects, so that I can advise the client more properly how to structure their offer for the get the most bang for their buck.
Now that's very interesting. We talk a lot on the show about how to keep a deal together. And a lot of these issues could really spook a buyer if you don't have the experienced agent who knows how to deal with that.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's really my true hallmark. Is I'm kind of like a dog with a bone when it comes to a transaction. I will not let it go. In fact, just in the last 3 days, I had a transaction that for about 36 hours, the buyer was telling me, yeah, we're going to cancel, yeah, we're going to cancel, yeah, we're going to cancel. Most agents would freak out and lose their cool or whatever. Smooth as a cucumber. I just wait, take my time, listen to what the client has to say, talk to the seller's agent, work it out whatever way we can. We're always thinking outside the box, come up with a solution. Maybe we could do this for you, maybe we could do that for you. Take your time, think about it. Really, I'm there as a consultant.
Yes.
You know? And one of the other things that a lot of realtors seem to miss out on or understanding and sharing with their clients is, in Nevada, under Nevada law, we are required to be a fiduciary.
That's right.
To our clients. And most people don't even understand that that means that you have to put your clients' financial best interest ahead of your own at all times.
Right.
And now when I get that through to our clients, and especially what I like to do is use the analogy of our profession versus a stockbroker. Okay? Stockbrokers licensed, but federal government, they got their Series 7, their Series 63. They can sell you stocks, bonds, investments of all shapes and sizes. But the funny thing, if you remember the movie Trading Places, when Ralph Bellamy and Don Amici were explaining to Eddie Murphy's character how everything works, at the very end they say, well, no matter if our client makes money or loses money, Duke and Duke collect the commissions. And of course, Eddie smiles broadly. But in real estate, it doesn't work that way. As a realtor, we have to put your financial best interest forward. And so when you're looking for someone who's experienced with the purchase of real estate, be it for investing, for living, or for selling your property, you definitely want to find a realtor that understands all the different permutations and is willing to take the time to sit with you, listen to what you have to say, and consult with you about what might be the best course of action for you to achieve success in a very tight real estate market.
You know, I have been in my past involved with a lot of different people. I worked as a bartender in a very famous comedy club back east, Catch a Rising Star. And I did this in the 80s. Now, I know you have some experience in this profession as well, and I know the difficulties of trying to manage more than one career, and I always applaud people who try to do that. You've had experience. Can you just speak a little bit about your comedic background and a little bit of what you're trying to do? And
Sure, I'm an aspiring comedian, I should say. First and foremost, I'm not a professional. I'm not paid to do comedy. Do open mics in town, showcases. I have a booking agent / comedy coach that I work with. Definitely looking at scheduling some dates upcoming soon. Kind of took a hiatus off of it for the last year, do some personal things. But generally speaking, I'm glad you asked that question, because I have found that it's very difficult for me to balance my work life with my desire to do other things.
Right, of
And
course.
most realtors do, especially if they're the type of realtor that puts their clients first. I really don't know how you can be successful without making sure to
Well, you can't, and it's a time-consuming business, and so, balance
My
is-
secret
Yeah.
is the power nap.
Yeah. Okay, 20
So,
minutes here and there?
No, well, here's the funny thing. I grew up for a few years in Israel. I speak Hebrew
I see.
fluently.
Okay.
Dad was Jewish, mom was Catholic, so I'm confused and twice as guilty.
Right.
So kind of the joke there, though, is it's helped me to understand that life is not lived the way America does it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the Middle East, Mediterranean area, they have a siesta. When it's 112 degrees outside in the middle of the afternoon, you go inside, you draw down the curtains,
Right.
you take a nap after lunch, which is the big meal of the day.
Right.
And so I've kind of oriented myself that way. I do have a large lunch and a very light dinner and a light breakfast. And I do, by the time 3 or 4 o'clock rolls around, to be candid, I'm ready for a nap.
Right.
I take a 30-minute power nap or whatever, boom, I wake up refreshed, wash my face, hop back right to it. In the real estate business, it's okay to let things sit for an hour or so and let people percolate and things percolate
Sure.
so that, what might have been a crisis at 7:30 in the morning when somebody blew up your phone, by the time 2:30, 3:30, 4 o'clock rolls around, smarter heads prevail, a solution has been found.
Right.
And frankly, I never tell our clients about any problems until we have a solution that's going to work for them in mind.
Yeah, I think that's very important. There are a lot of agents who want to take their clients through the emotional roller coaster. I'm not one. It doesn't sound like you are one either.
And that's really the magic of what we do. We are that person. It's kind of funny also, you were talking about the difference between how the life goes. It's almost like you become their best friend. You're an intimate confidant for them during that brief shining moment
Right.
of time when they
That's
are
right.
purchasing, which likely for them is the most important asset that they will ever own. It's the home where they're going to raise their family, the home where they're going to be their forever home if they're relocated and retiring to Las Vegas. Do a lot of business with those folks as well. And the point I'm making is that you have that intensity, that scorching kind of connection with them, and then all of a sudden, as soon as it's all gone, hey, thank you for the gift, it's been
Right.
nice, and you're gone.
See you
You're on
later,
their way
right.
forever, right? Or unless you're a good agent and you keep in touch with them, of course, from time to time, so
Right.
make sure not to lose any business. It's always hard when you find out that a client you had in the past went with somebody else. It does happen.
Ian, thank you very much for coming on the show. You're a breath of fresh air, very dedicated person, and obviously we want to have you back, see how you're doing, and I appreciate it very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Pleasure
very
being
much.
here.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm Jeff Barton, your host in the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word of mouth advertising. And according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in, and we're on each and every week. As you probably know, if you're a regular viewer to the show's broken up into several different segments, and we try to bring a quick, fast-paced, informative half hour to you about what's going on here in the Valley. It's buyer and seller season. Yep, it's springtime. So if you're one of these people that needs to move, or you want to get into something before kids got to go back to school, now's the time where you start looking. And we try to get into the ins and outs, the goods and bads of trying to do that on the show each and every week. We also deal with topics that affect real estate, whether it's the perception of the buyer or seller in the marketplace, or it's an actual fact about what is happening here in Las Vegas or Nevada as a whole. With me today, once again, is our terrific panel. Thanks again for coming on the show. Reed Blake from Business Capital Resource, thanks very much. How are you?
Swell.
Excellent, very good. And Alexis Young from Keller Williams Real Estate here in Las Vegas.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you both for coming on the show. So how are you this week? How are things going?
Good.
Business is good. Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about that. Business, in your business, you do all kinds of lending. And because the pot business, once again, is in the news, the growth business here in Vegas and in California, a number of other states, do you do that kind of lending? And what do you see as the typical borrower who comes to you for that kind of loan?
Yeah, Business Capital Experts itself does not. Okay, we do have a sister company that dabbles in that arena,
Right.
And there's been a lot of dabbling.
It's like usage. There's a lot of dabbling.
Yes, there have been a lot of we've done some serious double comma business in that arena, and it's just going up. Funding sources that want to play in that space are expanding, broadening the number of sources, the depth, if you would, or the amounts that they're willing to extend to these organizations is huge. We're actually be able to do some unsecured funding in that space as well.
I see.
But and we're getting all kinds of stuff. You know, we're getting the land. You know, we're getting the equipment. We're all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's been very, very profitable.
And one of the reasons I brought it up is because the money being made and how to make this money available for real estate purchases. Because obviously, as you just mentioned, land, do you have to, if you run into this with buyers who have money made in the cannabis business, needing or using it for purchase in real estate, for instance, how is that done? How can you use it? Or do you have to go to, somebody like Reed here in order to fund deals?
Well, a lot of the buyers and sellers that are in the cannabis business, they get all of their funds, through cash, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of the real estate that they're buying, it's cash deals. So cash is king, and it's preferred, obviously, in this market.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason or anything wrong with that.
Right, I think that using it, and it really depends. If you're banking it, that's one thing, but a lot of banks won't touch it. I mean, are you finding that a lot of federal institutions definitely won't touch it?
No.
State chartered banks, yeah, they will, but it really depends on, I guess, the internal structure of how the businesses are run, where the money's being made, and is it made to legal entities or is it used as money laundering? I mean, that's the real issue here.
Yeah. See, the challenge, two-part answer, so to speak. The challenge here is the stigma that's attached to it, right? So what's happening a lot is that the folks that, again, it's cash based in terms of what it is, but it's primarily unsecured and private money that's coming into play.
Right.
Okay, and because it's still kind of a social experiment. We don't have a lot of history. We don't have.
Well, there's no infrastructure built, so it's kind of being made up as it goes, and that's why all of these questions are vital, because people are making money on it, and they want to use that money to buy real estate.
Yeah,
it's just a natural fit.
Yeah, and the other thing about it, Jeff, is it's not like these people are taking those profits. Again, 80-20 rule, 90-10 rule. The vast majority of those people aren't taking these monies they've made in cannabis and then deploying it into single-family residence real estate transactions. That's not what they're doing. 80-90% of them, they're simply plowing it back into
the business.
They're growing,
Sure.
They're expanding,
Right.
because the margins are just too high. I mean, they're getting 3- and 4-digit returns. They're not going to see that in traditional real estate, where they're buying multifamily housing or things like that. We don't see, at least our side of it, and maybe we're just naive, but we don't see any laundering going on. What we see is just a tremendous amount of profit, because business is now involved. It's not under the table anymore. It's not in the back alley anymore. And so it's regular stuff. People are looking at their P&Ls. They're getting financial statements, all those things. And you've got private groups that are coming together for funding for the specific purpose of funding that. And so groups that have been around a little bit longer and actually run it like a business and have all the data, they're getting, and this is a technical term, gobs and gobs of money.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. It is a very technical term. Used it many times on different aspects of what I do in life. Listen, okay, social media. I want to touch on that just a bit, because how you reach your customers, how you talk to them is all completely different than it was 15, 20 years ago, obviously.
Even
Anybody in the market, especially here, knows that. How do you reach your businesses? How do you reach the people that work for you?
So most people are on some type of social media these days. Even if you don't have a Facebook, you're already looking on Realtor.com or you're looking on Zillow, and there's other landing pages that have useful information and you don't even know about it, but it's helpful for you. And if you have a smartphone, you're looking at some type of social media. And so what a lot of people are doing now, they have landing pages, AdWords, SEO, and it's helping to drive the consumer back to you so you can get in touch with them and help them. And that's how a lot of people are getting in touch. Live videos, live streams, Instagram.
Do you think that works better than, let's say, a Facebook? Like if you see a video of somebody versus just seeing their picture in their portfolio?
Well, actually, the live videos and the live streams, there's an algorithm connected. So you're going to get more views and you're going to be put on the front page more often for people to see.
How are you using it in your business? I know it's a lot of word of mouth, but there's also this component as well.
Yeah, Alexa's right when she talks about the social media being a major play, but especially on the video side, that's huge. And so you're seeing a lot more of that. We're tapping into that. We've been restructuring our entire social media component, and I suspect many of our other people in our space are doing the same thing. But video is huge. It increases your relevance. Yeah, you have more attraction, and you have what is now in social media terms called engagement. And so you have to, in order for your rankings and all those kinds of things, just about engagement. But there's no question about it. If somebody's able to go in and see her talking, actually get a video of the inside of a home, real discussion as opposed to just reading spec sheets, it's a big difference. And on our side, same thing with people that come to us and how we teach them and educate them and prep them, so on and so forth. And all the things you're talking about, now you've got pixeling and retargeting on Facebook. It's amazing what's happening out there in the social media component.
Let's talk about Zillow for a second. Just because Zillow has gotten into the house flipping business, now I don't know, you probably know about it, read about it. I think Zillow is a great resource, but I don't think it's the end all be all. I would say the same thing about Rocket Mortgage. I think it's a resource for a certain type of person. What are your thoughts on these type of social media and these type of social, I guess, accessibility to these easy information?
Well, it is easy information, but I would encourage everyone to do their due diligence. That Zillow and Realtor.com are not the end-all be-all, but they are a good place for everyone to start because it is easy and it is accessible. But there's also two sides to every story, and Zillow is also doing instant offers now. So, and as well as Open Door and Knock. And they actually don't have the consumer's best interests at heart. And it's just an easy way for them to generate leads that they sell off to the other agents, which are their real consumers, because it's expensive. And,
I agree.
And if you want a good service, I would recommend interviewing several people and agents, mortgage lenders, and inspectors.
Does it impact the business that you're in terms of these type of online, easy, accessible kind of solutions to problems?
The answer, Jeff, is to a degree yes, because it takes folks like us sort of out of the equation. Zillow experimenting here in Las Vegas, and I believe the other market they're testing is Phoenix, where they're dipping into their huge funds. I mean, these guys have made mad money, right? And so they've got very deep pockets. So for them to be able to literally go into the database that other people are handing them and simply cherry picking deals, making the offers and flipping it within their internal structure is huge. It gives them a decided advantage.
Well, I think corporate-wise it does. Listen, we're up against the clock. I really apologize. No, you're terrific. I could go on for a long time about this because I have a passion for personal service rather than, I guess, online and corporate sort of algorithm service. Anyway, thank you very much once again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll see you next time.